Hi everyone, Mr. Simmer here. So welcome back to the Back to Basics series here with American Truck Simulator, just playing within the standard game maps with some quality of life and realism modifications as far as scenery and so forth. I think I'm going to go ahead and try to work this job from Ontario to Kennewick, Washington, and grab these nuts from General Mills and get them to the train depot. Alright, here we go. I need to go to the front here again. So, looks like we've got a double again, looking in my mirrors. And also seeing how far away we were parked from all the docks and so forth. But we'll head out here. So, not sure what kind of... it's a Volvo. I just was not recognizing the instrument panel. So I'm like, I'm not sure what I got here. Let's see if I... what is the best... Whoops. Hitting the wrong thing. Sorry about that. So, I gotta turn out of here. So it's about 242 miles. Oh boy. I think I was hitting that sign a bit, but whoops. I think I need to turn down this road here. That is the way out of here. This is just a bit confusing, I will tell you that.
Finding a new route.
Alright, well, she didn't tell me to go anywhere else, so I'm a little confused, but I think driving through the truck stop and everything wouldn't have made a whole lot of sense.
Get ready to turn left.
But 8 a.m. So it should be a decent run here. Well, I think I'm sticking out in the road. Well, not enough to matter, obviously. Alright, we can go after this truck, but we gotta be careful here. Alright. So once again, I'm not going to have to back anything in, which is good, I guess, in a way, because I'm trying to use my... just stay in cab here, which is definitely going to be more of a challenge, but right now it's working out okay, because I'm just driving. So the last, I think, other than the first episode, I think I've had things I could not back into the loading dock. So I'm gonna see how this all works for sure, but so I'm thinking I need to get on the highway here, but this will get me a couple cities potentially discovered, which will give me again more contract
And then turn left.
opportunities to work with. So I'm not quite sure what that beeping is. I've not figured out that tone. It's definitely been happening, but I don't know what it is supposed to indicate. And it might be something in the way, but there was nothing to the left of me. I was thinking maybe it was like a turn signal warning, as far as if there's something over to the side of me that I could collide with. So, if anyone's aware, I'm thinking it's obviously something new from one of the recent updates. I just don't recall any new warning tones or anything. Alright, so a nice turn there. set my speed to 65, which is as fast as I can go in these jobs anyway. That car was very, very close. But I think this should be mainly highway miles here, which tends to be most of the runs that happen. Wow. This is, again, probably an underpowered trailer. So yeah, I think I'm looking at my trip meter here. Although it's just showing me time. I don't think it's showing me any miles. Because it's like average miles per hour and stuff like that, and miles per gallon, but that's all it's doing. But yeah, this is going to take us through some of the really meandering mountain roads once we get into Oregon, before we then get up there to Washington. But Pendleton's 196. I think that's the next major town on the road that we're dealing with. And then once we get through Pendleton, we will be then heading off to Kennesaw. So we've got some storm clouds brewing out there, it looks like. I'm not sure. Hopefully we won't be dealing with rain. I'd prefer not to have that going on. Good news is we're finally getting up to our speed here. You can see we're averaging 43, just ticked up to 44. So obviously the higher I can get that average, the faster in general we're covering things, which is always an important thing. But we've been about 30 minutes on the road, definitely not that long. But it took us a little while. Pretty muddy river over there. But I think until we get into Oregon, so we've got to get out of Idaho first. But until we get into Oregon, we're not really getting near the point where we're going to be going up the mountain a lot and so forth. But yeah, I'm just worried how this is slowing down with the load we've got, how that's all going to work. But hopefully it won't be terrible. But Cement Plant Road, I don't know what town this is attached to. I know I've never delivered to or taken a load from this particular plant, so that's an area in all my hundreds of hours of American Truck Simulator that I've just never been to. Alright, so we had gotten the average up to 55. It just dropped down to 40 or 53 with that. So it's definitely taken a bit of time. Now, we must be in Oregon now, but, you know, again, maybe just not exactly that portion. So we're entering Baker City, according to the little roadside sign there that's giving me some information. But exit 304, I don't think there's any way that's an Idaho number. Alright, so we've got the average back up to 55. We'll see how long we can keep that going. Where have we gotten to? Pendleton is now 130, so we've done about 66 miles since the last mileage update we've had. So definitely doing well, moving along. But I think pretty soon we're going to start hitting a bit of those challenging spaces. it does look like maybe I don't see those gray clouds hanging up there anymore, so I think we'll be in good shape. Alright, we've got some blinking that we gotta go down to 60, but we're only at 65, and as soon as we start climbing, you know how that's gonna work. We're gonna lose some speed anyway, so. But maybe it's going downhill, I'm not sure. Got a train along the edge here. Pretty good turn there. But yeah, this looks like I think a 12 speed. I think that's what's at the bottom of my center dash display there. I'm in drive 12. Not sure what the E is, but here we go. Sharp curves ahead. So we're starting to enter that location. Yes, in theory, it should slow me down a bit, but I'm thinking for trucks, they're gonna leave my speed limit up here, and again, we're gonna start climbing, which is why it's doing what it's doing. So 58 is where we're at. We'll see how close to that average we can maintain, but we're already down to 44 here as it tries to, well, obviously that D12 is not the gears, because we obviously downshifted. So we either had a higher gearbox, although I do see, I think, A12 up on top. I'm assuming on my little add-on mirror display and so forth. I'm assuming that's accurate on the gears. But definitely a bit of challenge with the climbing. So rider trucks passing by. But yeah, it's a beautiful morning to be driving along here, that's for sure. So always the joy of the open road. I'm just hoping I can make it in the time that I need. So I kind of gave myself a little bit of a window here that I can play in. Now, since I don't have to park, that will help, because I just need to get there, and I'm not going to need to spend 5 minutes parking. But I've got a little over kind of 10 minutes till I'm going to have to either pause and pick this up again or something else. So we'll see how everything plays out. But slowing down and not averaging what I need to be is certainly not helping. Alright, 57 to Pendleton. We're not headed to Portland, so that doesn't really do much for me. Looks like the good news is we're accelerating a bit. And we only dropped a couple miles an hour on average. So that's a good thing. We went from 58 to 56, but some of that is once we have enough high-speed miles under our belt. Obviously, some slower speed ones don't really have as much of an impact. Now, I'd love to bypass this way station. Not sure we're going to get that lucky. So, we'll find out here. Oh, we are. Cool. Because at least then I'm not trying to accelerate here as we're heading up. Ooh, well, that I know what it is. That is a collision alarm. So that didn't help, because he had to pull in and I could not move over because there was a car next to me. So poor planning on my part, I guess. I can't really blame anyone but me on that one. But yeah, this is where we get, I think, a little bit more interesting, because the two sides of the highway split a bit so that we could go around the terrain, and that's always a bit of a challenge. I vaguely remember this area of the mountains, though, being pretty challenging, so I'm kind of covering the brake, hoping I can go and keep going at speed here, but Yeah, this is the turn. Yeah, I'm drifting and trying to turn and I can't. So I better be careful before I have to use that runaway truck ramp. And we've got another one. Wow. Goodness. I'm not going that fast. And it's telling me I can go 65, but clearly... Because, yeah, I don't know. This one might not have adaptive cruise. Because if it does, I should be able to kind of go through here. And it would just slow me down, but I'm not sure that it will do that. But at this point, most of everyone should be kind of taken off from ahead of me. But no, I think it is adjusting. It's just when that guy was slowing down, it was substantially faster than the cruise could handle it, is what was going on. Alright, well, we made it through without running into anyone or anything, or tipping over. That's something I haven't done in a long, long time. That would have been pretty embarrassing. But that definitely got the best of me, because I'm trying to rush a bit here. And it kind of took me by surprise. Alright, so we got Pendleton discovered, which means we can now take orders from Pendleton. So that's important. But then we've just got not too terribly far, I think, to Kennesaw. But I think most of the meandering S-curves and so forth are now behind us. So hopefully this should be relatively smooth sailing for the rest of the trip. And we'll see where we get any kind of Kennesaw distance or so forth on the highway. I don't have my sim dashboard up right now, so I'm not able to give it to you from there. But, I mean, we've also been driving for 3.5 hours, so if we're averaging 56, I would assume we've done about 150, which means we have about 100 more miles to go. So yeah, I'm not quite sure how everybody's going so slow, but alright, I'm gonna move over because there's clearly something going on in the right lane. So this time I could do it. Alright, Kenneswick 36, so it's not that far. Hopefully it won't tell me I have to exit here.
Keep right, and then exit right.
Of course it will. Great. Do I have... Oh, come on. Why is it doing this to me?
Exit right.
I hate this. This is the second time the detour or whatever has gotten me, and I don't have time for this. But I'm sure there's something over there that would get me in trouble and I couldn't get by, so let's see what it tells us I need to do. Because I don't know where the next exit is here. Sometimes they're pretty far apart. But let's get going, and oh, come on, stop pulling in front of me and then slowing down. Alright, now we're in 10th gear. Yeah, it's blocked the other way too. So that's great. So how do we get there? Alright, now I'm going to need to plot out a way. Come on, am I seriously going to have to go all the way around here? Oh boy, well that's going to be a bit of a disaster. But yeah, it's blocked the other way too, so I can't turn around and come back, which is what it's going to try to have me do, but at the next exit, I need to just head up and go down that other route and then go around. I don't think this required really speedy deliveries, so I think I'll be alright, but as long as I have enough fuel. I'm trying to figure out where the fuel gauge is on this thing. I don't know that I can see it offhand, because there's their temperature gauges at the bottom. Again, I don't have my sim dashboard up, so I'm literally trying to look at the dashboard there. Oh, I see the fuel. It's right at the upper right, the first gauge over, so I'm halfway. But yeah, this is not... This thing is killing me. I mean, I've left on this series, I've left the events and the detours at default. And this is only, what, my 5th episode? And now I've had 2 of 5 episodes massively impacted by this. This is one thing to have something happen, but like to keep having the road closed in its entirety, that's a pretty significant blow that gets challenging to recover from. I get this happens with trucks and so forth, but wow. So I'm going to do my best to splice things together, but I think in a few minutes I'm going to have to basically pause and then try to pick this up later and make it look like one seamless run. But I think I'll be alright, and I should be able to do it. Where is this exit? Wow. This is a long way. Hope I won't also be late. Oh, there we go, finally. I don't think I've ever gone this way either, so hopefully it's not some non-truck route that's going through some national park or something, because that would be frustrating.
Keep right.
But
And
it
then
is
exit
a bit of a, you know, a challenge on the fact that I'm not going to be on the highway, and that's assuming I don't run into some other
and then turn left.
crazy thing, because yeah, it's trying to turn me around, but I saw the exit was closed the other way, so I can't do that. Oh, I have a green light. I noticed that when I turned, and I'm like, wait, there's red lights everywhere.
Finding a new route.
Alright. So let's see where we can go here. Now, is it gonna give me a good route? Yes, it is. Alright. So that'll work. It's gonna be a little bit of a mess when we get up to the interstate, but that's alright. Ah, look at that hill. Yeah, this is gonna take a bit of time. So this is the Columbia River. So we'll be crossing that. Lower this down a bit. But yeah, Maryhill State Park. I assume it's that road that we can't get to. But I'm assuming I'm going to have no danger of the 40 mile an hour here, because I'm betting this truck's barely going to be able to handle that. So there we go. We are now in Washington State.
Get ready to turn left.
Goodness, yeah. No danger at all of going over 50. I just hope I can make it to the top. It should be fine. I'm in my lowest gear here. But yeah, this is going to take a bit of time.
Turn left.
Alright, well, the good news is we crested that. So we're going to have to stop and turn from here. It looks like a pretty quiet stretch of road here. That's a good thing. Everybody's lined up behind us, so looks like we're all just traveling through here, but nobody's going on this cross section at all.
Get ready to turn right.
Alright, just turning my lights on because, again, I keep forgetting to do so when it gets dark. I would hope I'm going to have this delivered well before that, but who knows where else we'll get diverted. A little bit of a rocky section, but only 25 through here, so let me slow down. We might have to pull over at this way station too. Nobody's coming the opposite way, which is good. No, we're still able to go by. I am surprised. Alright. We will do that. Alright. My set. Just looking. I can go to 65. At least it's a good high-speed 2-lane road here. Got that van coming. Alright, we're past that. I don't know if Yakima is the town that we're headed to now. It wouldn't seem correct, because I swore Yakima was still down the highway there. I would think this might get us there in some way, but not in the same location. There's no way I could have taken that at 65 or 60. I don't understand. Interesting that it's saying I discovered that, and that's a good thing. But I didn't really think we were anywhere near that city, but maybe I'm lost as to where exactly we are, so we'll see. But I'm assuming there's only one Yakima, Washington. I can't imagine it's discovered something else, but this just seems a long, long way out into the country to be given that ability there, so, but I'll take it. And then, yeah, this is when we're going to loop around. Just not sure which one. I guess it's not Main Street here. Oh, keep right. Okay, I guess it is. So it will be this exit only. Let me just make sure. I see, because we have to, I guess, turn around in some way, so. And then basically head down, I think, that road there, but we'll see how it all works. Now, do I circle around? Alright, looks like I just go onto the road here, and then there's a turn I can make.
Keep left, and then exit left.
I see. Alright, right where that truck is going. Interesting. But I'm thinking it's just like a road. I just can't actually go down that road. No, there isn't a road. It's actually just a turnaround. That truck looked like it was going the wrong way really fast, but alright. So I'm going to go all the way across. And I think it said to keep right. This is just so confusing. All of this spinning around. Alright. So I think we're on the right track here. But now it does say 9 down below now that I'm in 9 and 10. So that is the gears. I guess I just was in 12 at that one point. But yeah, I was literally just came off that other ramp that's coming in. And then we're cycling around through this direction here, getting on the freeway. This is my problem. I don't know how close we are, and now we're going to be in danger of being late. And this is where it gets frustrating. Like, if we get penalized because it sends us a different direction through a detour, it should be more careful to not do those things, because then you're just unable to actually be successful. And that gets frustrating pretty quickly. But I mean, I suppose the reality is, I mean, trucks might run into that, and it's like, yeah, sorry I'm late, and the customer's like, well, we needed it here, you know, you didn't make it here in time, so sorry, we're not paying you the full amount. I mean, usually I have an hour and a half when that is starting to give me that warning, so hopefully we'll be okay. Again, we're still, even with all that, we're still averaging 48 miles. Here's another way station. Let's see what comes of this. Alright, this one we do have to go into, but it's at least on flat land. So it shouldn't be too terrible to speed up again. Alright. So get in here. Alright, there you go. 98,284 pounds. So now you understand why it's a bit of a struggle to get moving, because this is a nice heavy load, that is for sure. Alright, is that truck gonna let me in? Looks like he is. Alright, and Kennewick are the two exits. Obviously, I'm assuming we're not getting off here, but we might. And it's only been like 15 minutes, I think, so I'm hoping we're in good shape.
Right. And then exit right.
Alright, I guess we are.
Exit right.
Alright, so this 182, which is in essence like a bypass highway, is what we'll be taking off. Turn that off. I don't need that clicking away in our ear. And so yeah, again, this will be a bit longer than I expected, because I wasn't expecting to run into that detour. I'm sure I added 100 extra miles at least to where I was going. And yeah, right now this really isn't giving me much visibility. It's the Yakima River, I think is what it said. But not seeing any flag yet. Doesn't mean it won't suddenly appear. Alright, well, we're obviously not exiting here. The question is, where's the next one? 3/4 of a mile, so it's not that far. I would think we're exiting on this.
Keep right. And then exit right.
There we go. So,
Exit right.
so it's been about an hour, but looks like we can go pretty quickly down this ramp, so I'll stay at speed. But I think we're just transferring to another interstate. We're going to have to exit again. There we go. So now we've discovered it. Now, this actually isn't an interstate. Alright. So we're turning here on this road, and this road
Turn left.
basically just gets us to the yard, and that's it.
Get ready. Turn left.
Alright, so we're here at the BNSF depot. So obviously we'd expect some train tracks around, but the question ends up being, where do they want it?
You have arrived at your destination.
So it's here somewhere on the other side of these trailers. Just want to make sure I give myself enough room, but there we go. It looks like we've got to pull in over here. Is where they would like us. So hopefully I've swung enough that I can then bring this in straight, and we'll get credit for actually placing it where they want it, which I'm sure is under the crane to just be able to offload it. There we go. So we made it. So 425 instead of like 220, so it was an extra 200 miles. So got us to level up though, so I guess that's a good thing. So I'm tempted to add some hazmat here. Question is what? Flammable gases would seem the best. So let's do that. Alright, but at this point we're doing well. Proceeding along. Probably won't have hazmat jobs available to us for the next load, but next time we will, and more importantly, again, we have been able to advance and get a good way into level 4. So thanks for following along. I'll see you next time.